Hello, my name is Emily. I'm an artist and jewellery maker and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be changing this dreary Monday morning into a Monday morning of art supply joy because it's been my birthday last week and I thought I would show you the bits and bobs that I have accumulated not only for my birthday but also for Christmas and Black Friday and so on. I have been getting some bits and bobs when there's been deals because I'm trying to make the most of the discounts, as it were, for clay and whatnot. As things have been reduced, I'm trying to make the most of that. And yeah, I've been very spoilt by a lot of lovely people and also myself when I have received some pennies. So I thought I would show you everything that I got. I'm not going to swatch them in this video. The last video that I did, which was my favourites video, was very, very long. And I think that put people off watching it because it's quite rambly. I will link that below if you fancy a rambly video all about art supplies and things I love. But if not, I completely understand because it's an hour and a half long and I do go off on many tangents. This is my new mug I got for my birthday. Well, funny story, I went faint in HomeSense with my sister. Random fact, I'm a twin, so when it was my birthday, it was also her birthday, and we met up in our hometown and had a lovely little mooch with my mother and went to HomeSense, which is like TK Maxx, but like the homey version. And I saw this mug and then trying to pick it up, then went really, really faint because pots, if you know, you know. And my sister went to hold it and then came out with it, as in she did pay for it, she didn't just steal it. And she wouldn't let me give her any money for it, so it's very cute. I'm going to show you, but it's absolutely full to the brim of coffee. Also, piggy coaster, because if you know, I am a piggy mama. I've got some guinea pigs. If you can hear them in the background, it's because I've just made myself some breakfast and they are fuming that they've not had their breakfast yet. I'm going to start with surface, I think, because it's quite chunky and I could do some space on my desk. So this was actually, I'm trying to think now, I think it was actually for my mother's birthday. We went for a similar sort of mooch and we went to, again, I think HomeSense, they've got a nice stationery section and I cannot resist. And when I see these books especially, and they're not always there, but when they are pretty well discounted. I think this literally costs £3. So, and I love these sketchbooks. They take wet media really, really well. They're quite good for mixed media. They're nice and smooth, almost like Bristol paper in smoothness. There's not much kind of texture to them, which is great for lots of different medias. If I want something that's got a bit more texture, I bought another one for that. But I bought these because when you get them from other websites, they are a little bit pricier and I'm all about saving the pennies. These colours are lovely as well. I've not got these colours in my collection of these, so I thought I'd give those a go. These are probably my most common sizes. I tend to do all of my jewellery designs in these. I've got one at the moment that's blue and it's sat by my bed where when I get the bursts of inspiration when I'm not very well, I can still draw the idea without having to then go and make it straight away if I'm not very well. And then this colour is just, I'm really into lilac at the minute. I don't know what's happened. I'm normally all about like the warm sort of greens and blues and yellows, but I'm all about the baby pinks and lilacs at the minute. I don't know who I am. This is a new brand from Hobbycraft and I was very intrigued because look at the thickness of this sketchbook. It's very chunky. And this one has got a bit more of a grain. It's really like good quality. It's quite sturdy for the thickness of it. It's got a nice like weight to the paper. There's a nice grain to it as well. 92 sheets, 140 GSM. Shaw and Marsh is the brand. This is A5. And I think even my sister bought one of these because they're so big. And well, value for money. I think these are only about £5 or £6. So even if it's just for experimenting or swatching or something, then I thought this would be fantastic. But I'm really intrigued to see how this works because for the price, it kind of reminds me of like a Sea White of Brighton one. I'll keep you posted on how this is. Nice sort of like cloth bound, hard bound sketchbook. Now I think I might go for paint. Quick look at this. So I'm going to start with watercolour because I only bought one. I've got quite a nice watercolour collection, but this is actually a repurchase. I had the pan originally of the Shire Yellow from Schmincke Horridam. It's the super granulating paints, and I'm scraping the pan now of my version of this. So I thought, you know what, I've used it so much. I very rarely like pan watercolours because I've got other ones that I can use, but I just find this is such a nice tone. The granulation of like almost like a cool violet grey is just so nice with those like ochre olive tones. So I thought, you know what, I don't like to repurchase. I always like to try other ones or try to mix what I've got, but I do feel like I will miss this in my collection. And when I think it was Cassart or Jackson's did like a watercolour or schminker sale, I can't quite remember, I think this didn't even cost me £5, which compared to the other, I think they're about, especially the 5 mils rather than the pans, I think they're around £7 or £8. So I thought, you know what, for I think about £4.50, I thought I will get that because I will miss that when it's not in my collection. I'm going to be doing a swatching video next because I don't want to put them all in one video, because as seen, it's a bit overwhelming to see such a long video, and I yap. I've got a very, concision is not my strong point. I go on and on and on and on if you aren't already aware. So I thought I'd do this in a separate video, so then if you just want to see what I've bought, that's fantastic, and you're not having to watch through me yapping. But then if there is something that you want to see swatched, it'll be on the next video as well. So if you want to see that, do subscribe, because it'll be relatively soon after this, I believe, because I want to start using them. So the sooner I've swatched them and popped them in my channel, the better. Next, I wanted to grab some metallic acrylic paints. I'm really working into some ideas of upcycling for some charity shop items that I have picked up that I want to turn into like display pieces, either for my own art studio if I become somewhat attached to the design, or maybe to sell. So I thought I'd get some gold and silver just to see how I feel. These ones are the Galleria acrylics from Winsor & Newton. They're not overly expensive. I think they're about £3 or £4. So I thought these would be useful to try. And if I am using them frequently, or would like one that's got a bit more sort of either viscosity or pigment to it, then I can try a different brand. But I thought for now, perfect amount. It's not too big for my collection. It's going to end up just taking up space of something that I might potentially not use. But I thought it's worth giving a go, because I think these are like frames or edges, or even just as like a wash over some kind of texture. If I do something like impasto, I think these look fantastic. So that's why I bought those. I then grabbed some gouache. I used up quite a lot of Jaune Brilliant from my recent painting of the pomegranate girl, who I have nicknamed Pomela because she's got a pomegranate and she's crying and she's a lady, so I thought Pomela would suit her. So I tried Apricot from Turner just to see if this one is a similar match. I do like the Turner gouaches, and I was doing a Cassart order, so I thought when I was doing that, they've only just recently started doing Holbein actually, but they don't do singles, so I thought I'd make the most of getting that in a single. But if not, it's a colour that I use frequently, any of these sort of like peachy colours, so if it's not an exact match, it'll still be used regardless. I then picked up greyish purple because I think these will be great for like murkier tones in a landscape, but also even on like a face. It's quite a neutral colour that I can mix with to kind of make things a bit murkier. And then, you know me and mustardy colours, I just can't. And this is literally called mustard, but it's like a really sort of chartreuse, but like a murkier chartreuse, something that you'd see like in a swamp, that sort of colour. And I can't wait to use this. I think this with almost like hot pink would look very interesting. I picked up some Amsterdam acrylics because they're literally my favourite. I've fallen in love with this range of paints because they've just been so reliable. All the colours work well. You can kind of, you know what you're getting from them, and I've really been enjoying them. They're not overly expensive. I wouldn't say they're as inexpensive as the Winsor & Newton, but you do get a considerable amount more, so it depends what you're interested in. This was also a Jaune Brilliant replacement, but more in an acrylic format rather than acrylic gouache. It's Naples Yellow Red, and it's that gorgeous sort of like creamsicle orange colour. I think even in the summer, sort of florals and things would look really nice with this. I then picked up a Naples Yellow Light. This is to replace my Pale Lemon Winsor & Newton Galleria. It's a slightly larger tube, and I think it will be very well used. I then picked up a Caput Mortem Violet, again portrait thing, but even like florals getting into like all the folds of like a peony or a rose would look really lovely. I think it's just a really nice colour. It doesn't seem to be as transparent, so I'm hoping that that means I can use it for dual purposes. This with the Payne's grey would look fantastic. And I then picked up Warm Grey. This is like, it reminds me of the Winsor & Newton Galleria Buff Titanium, but maybe a hair darker. It's quite grungy, so I think it will also work really well for things like mortar, bricks in landscapes and stuff. I did a landscape for my mum of like the Lake District, and I struggled to find a house colour. I think this would be perfect, and because there's more of it, I can mix without feeling like I have to be too stingy. Right, paint markers I think now, and then I'll clear this and go on to the more dry medium. Can you tell I'm really into portraits? Because I've bought some more like really fine nibbed Posca markers for a similar reason. I think in the last collective haul I bought the 3Ms or the 5Ms of the beige and the ivory. I have loved them so much. I've actually used a full beige already because I've just been doing so much work with that one, especially when I'm doing faces with Pomela, for example. So I bought a finer one because I thought even things like the inner corner, like of the eye, and to kind of highlight underneath the lashes and stuff, I think that would work really well. So I thought these colours would be perfect. Even highlights, and I'm not wanting it to be so stark and white, having a pinkier or a lemony one would work really well. I then grabbed red wine and brown, not only for like hair details, but also for like aspects of florals, like the veins in like leaves. I think rose leaves can sometimes have like a dark red vein, but even like the browns from hair, fur, little details like that, I thought they'd be fantastic for that. So I grabbed those for that reason. And then paint brushes. I think you probably saw by my last haul, I've been really into these Pro Art brushes. And this soft blender was on a sale. I think they did 20% off brushes at Cass Art. And this is the soft blender, and it's the Terry Harrison special effects design range. And it's a really soft, sort of almost like a mop, but it's a little bit stiffer than a mop. So I'm hoping that means like blending out really small areas, still buffing them out nicely to get a really like airbrush sort of effect, but because of that density. And then I grabbed a rigger, a half rigger. I've not used a rigger before, but I found people say that this kind of gives them a bit more sort of stability, which baffles me because they're actually quite elongated. But we shall see. A bit nervous to try one of these, but I thought if I'm going to try one, I want to try one that's not going to be too frayed, or, you know, a good quality one, because I think they'll be useful. But if not, I know people use these for like nail art as well, which I am getting into. Not that you can tell, I've been trying to work on this for my skin picking issues. I mean, this is just eczema from hand washing from being unwell, but please excuse that. But I've got nail glue for my birthday nail, so they look abysmal at the moment. But, and finally, my Royal & Langnickel brushes are very reliable for me. They're not too expensive, but they wash really nicely because they're synthetic. I find that they work so well for that reason. Thought I'd get the stencil brushes for a similar reason, like airbrushing, but these are slightly firmer and maybe a bit rougher, so I think they'd be quite good for texture, especially in backgrounds. And then I got some camel hair mops. They're synthetic still, but I think these are quite good size. They're kind of the in-between size of the ones I've already got, and they look really soft, so I think they'll be nice for kind of a smoother, softer blend, whereas these will probably give a bit more texture. If you aren't aware, I've been getting really into my journaling again. I have got my recent journaling intentions video, which I think is my latest video that's gone up, and I will link that below as well. I've really been enjoying doing that. It's quite like a cathartic release, something creative that I can kind of work into, but writing my thoughts down. I've got 3 journals that I'm working on at the moment, a book one, a therapy one, and like an intentional art business type one that's more for like creative planning and organisation. But I have been really enjoying using my Tombow markers for them, so I thought to get some more colours. And similarly, because they don't bleed in the journal, I thought they'd work well in my sketchbook as well. So I picked up some colours that I am missing. So I wanted to get some more neutrals and just some different tones. So I grabbed, I don't know what the names of these are, but I will pop them on the screen. There's like an orange, almost mandarin-y sort of colour. I believe this is like either carmine or redwood or something. I think this is grey-green or asparagus or holly green, one of those. This is pale lemon, I know that one for sure. It literally looks like a pale lemon, like a citrusy sort of colour. I think this is like Sienna or camel or something like that, I'm not too sure. And then this is like a rose, maybe deep rose or something, but it's really pretty. I thought these would work quite well with my other colours. Now these are more exciting because I've never used this before, and so I'm trying to get comfy in my chair, and I've not used these ever, but I recently saw, I can't even think what the video was, but someone was using these as a way of capturing like a diffused light source, and light sources are one of my favourite things to replicate in paintings, like fireflies, things like that. These are the pan pastels, so rather than having like a pastel in a stick form, and these are the soft pastel sort of formula, so they're more, not oil based, they're more powdery. I'm just going to use eyeshadow brushes to, not eyeshadow brushes, eyeshadow like sponges to apply these, because I think the applicators are a bit more expensive, and I'll work it in with my finger as well. So, but this one I believe is Hansa Yellow Tint. I did get pastels because I think these will be the ones that I'll use the most to try them out, but I might get a couple of darker tones as well as I kind of get used to the medium, and if I will use them more. But I know pastels as like an over sort of blend, I think I probably will use the most, because anything that replicates sparkles or light I do use quite frequently. I then bought Tharlo Blue Tint, which I think will be lovely for a sky. Imagine like a misty, foggy sea. I can see it already, like a little bit of sun poking through. I might need to try that. I then bought Magenta Tint, which is a really sweet baby pink. I think this will be lovely for like a sunset. But I saw someone use this like over a blue violet, and it looked exceptional. So I really want to try that as well. And I think even for like highlighting and blushing cheeks, I think would look lovely as well on my portraits. So very excited about that one as well. And then I did also get the white. So if I'm working in like a sort of vignette, I can then pop a little bit this in the center to really get that sort of blown out, diffused light look. So I think this will be very handy to have with these as well. Speaking of pastels, I saw these in Hobbycraft by the till and I was sucked in. They were on reduced. They're the Conte de Paris pastel pencils in white. I find the white pencils that I have, I do enjoy, but I'm just intrigued to see whether, because they're pastel based, whether they're a bit more opaque. Laying them on over the top, whether I could blend them a bit more with my finger. I did buy 4 new coloured pencils. I wanted something a bit cooler. I know Taupe has been on my list in Jackson's for a while, but they've started doing the singles in Cass Art now. And then also from Derwent Lightfast, I bought the Sienna, which is like just a little bit warmer. And then from Caran Luminance, which are my favourite pencils in the whole world. So I got Sepia. I'm trying not to line in black as often because I think it can look quite stark. So I thought this sepia would be a little bit warm. I think for eyelashes, I think this would be absolutely stunning. So I did that. And then I got Burnt Ochre 60%, which I've not got, but it's like a really, again, I think definitely more terracotta this one than say Sienna from Derwent Lightfast. But I think this will be lovely for eyes, making like golden amber eyes. I think would look stunning with this. These are a bit more powdery, so I think going over the top will be lovely. Did also grab some Neocolors from Jackson's. Also wanted one specific colour that I've got in the non-water soluble colour, but I wanted it in the water soluble colour. So I got the Payne's Grey in the water soluble colour because I love this one, the colour and the tone of this, but in the water soluble, obviously it's not water soluble, so I find it's just a little bit drier. So I thought I'd get this in the water soluble formula because this is my favourite formula. It's very creamy. Then grabbed Periwinkle Blue. I thought this would be a really nice tone to have as like a pop of colour. I think this with like a chartreuse or a spring green would look gorgeous. And then I picked up 2 neutral colours. I picked up the Golden Ochre in the aquarelle version. I've got the non-water soluble colour. My brain is absolutely fried. I got the non-water soluble version, and I wanted that in the soluble version. And I wanted to get English red for like earthy sort of clay landscapes, but even like as tones in the hair, in the eyes, even fur for like a fox. I think this would look stunning. So grab that as well. I've got some more Sennelier pastels because I've been really enjoying using these over canvases. I don't know whether that's the correct way of using them, but I've just really been enjoying the texture of these over canvases. So I got Barite green or Barite green, which is like almost like a beryl green as well. It's very, it's like a malachite green. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a really sort of the perfect mix between green and blue. I think this will be useful for clouds. I've gotten back into my landscapes, and I think this will be nice to kind of really get the depth of like a white cloud, or even like the highlights of like a cumulonimbus cloud. I think will look stunning. I then got a Violet Ochre, which is quite similar to that mummy shade in this line, but I think it's just that little bit more purple than say pink. I can just imagine this giving like those bruisey tones and like a bunch of grapes or something. I think would look fantastic. Now, what colour this is, I think it was either salmon or coral or something, but it was definitely one I wanted because I think this would look lovely. Or is it like an anthracanoid pink or something? When I say I screamed, my partner gave me this, and it's like a little basket, and he actually wrapped it up with a little goat cuddly toy, and again probably added to the decibel that I ended up screeching. It's actually weirdly sentimental, and I think that my partner bought this before we lost my granddad, but my granddad passed away end of November, and these flowers are always in his garden, like specifically the little yellow violas, and it was just quite sweet that they were in here. And apparently my partner bought this from a charity shop when I wasn't well enough to go with him. And I mean, he also bought an absolutely exceptional teapot for Christmas, which I'll pop a picture here. and he thought this was a perfect addition also to the art studio. I love anything like ceramic and pottery, and I think I'm going to pop either some cuddly toys or something in there for my art studio, just as a little nod to like childhood with Grandad. And it made me a little bit weepy, I'm not gonna lie. A box. Inside a box is a A3 light box for tracing, but it's nice and large. It comes with little bulldog clips as well, fabulous. And what I saw of this one particularly is that the actual plug-in, some of them can be quite fragile. So as you can see, it's got a couple of different switches, and the actual plug-in is here. So it should be nice and easy to keep in one piece. The last few ones, this has ended up falling out. So this one's like a updated version. So I'm thrilled to have this again because it makes life so much easier when doing portraiture to make it super, super accurate. So thrilled to bits. Right, that should be all of the unwrapping items, I should hope, in terms of horrible sounding plastic. But this is a crochet blocking board, or something to make like life easier when you're doing garments that require that sort of square format. It came with these like needles that you block it in with. So when it comes to like a granny square or something, here's one I prepared earlier. So you basically would use that in each corner to get it like the right sort of shape so it doesn't look warped. So it'll be so much useful when making garments. I did make a waistcoat without one, and with it being my first one, I didn't realise that one was needed, but I think regardless it'll be good to have, and I think this one with the scalloped edge is really, really nice. So I'm glad I had that. I did also get a bit of clay in Black Friday because they had a massive sale on, so I thought I'd grab some most used colours, especially because I mix a lot of my colours, so I want to make sure I've got enough in stock so when I'm mixing I've got plenty to keep me going. And I haven't done a big clay order for a while, so I thought it was necessary to do. I believe this is from Panda Haul. I think you can get them from Amazon. I don't know where my gift giver got me this from, but I think it is a Panda Haul one. But I know Beadsmith do them as well, but basically it's like a looper. So this was a 1.5 looper, so when using a piece of wire or something, it actually makes life easier by, if you're popping it through there, it makes them more sort of uniform loop. They are expensive. I was very grateful to have this as a gift. I've had my eye on one of these for a while, so to get one for a gift is just very much appreciated, and I can't wait to actually use this. I found this on actually a website for miniature art, so like dolls' houses and stuff, and it's like a little silicone thing. I don't know how else to describe it, template, but you have like these little indents for alphabets. So I'm working on some initial pendants and stuff, so I thought this would be great for really teeny tiny pendants. But then as another initial-esque thing, I bought these stamps from a really, really good Etsy shop. I'll link them below. They are so inexpensive, but the quality is top-notch. I'm really, really impressed. So I'm really happy to have these because I have an idea with a stamper. And there's so much you could do with this, not just necessarily jewellery, but also ornaments and things like that. So from my mother, she asked me what I wanted, and I said a loom, a beading loom. And she was like, of course you want a loom. She knows when it comes to arts and crafts, I'm acquiring them all. So she knows I haven't tried beading and loom work before, but never say never. So I really wanted to try this to have like components of beadwork with polymer clay. I've seen a few YouTube videos of people doing them, and well, for one thing, I'm absolutely hypnotised by them, and I just wanted to give it a go. I want to see if it's possible that I could do something like that with what I already do jewellery wise. So I have this, and like you can make all sorts of things, like I think it's what, brick stitch and stuff. They look very cool, and I have loads of beads anyway, so it's not like I need to buy any more beads. I did say to her that she could have definitely got me something more colourful, but it's a little crochet yarn bowl type thing to make crocheting easy. It kind of keeps your yarn in there. It's like sparkly, it's absolutely gorgeous, and yellow is my favourite colour, so it's almost like she knew. It's almost like she's my twin sister. One thing my sister is also into, she's getting a bit more craftier, and I'm loving that. By crafty, I don't mean sly, I mean into hobbies and whatnot, before she starts thinking that I'm telling her that she's crafty. She's really into diamond art, and I've seen her do it. First of all, I'm a bit of a sparkle fiend. I love makeup and all sorts of things sparkly, mica powder, anything that I can make my artwork or face sparkly, I'm all for. But I've never tried diamond art because I thought with my dexterity being not the best, and whether it would be something that I could even do with how precise it needs to be. But she's only gone and got me some painting inspired pieces. So you know what? If I'm going to make anything, it'd be these, wouldn't it? Let's be real, for the art studio. I cannot even. I imagine them all sparkly as well. I am enthralled. I cannot wait to have a go at these. I mean, let me know if you want to see me do one for the first time on camera. That'd be pretty cool. I remember mentioning to my partner that I hadn't got any bird books for references from the charity shop when we go together to point them out to me so I can have a look at them. But he didn't. Instead, he got some for me for Christmas. So he got me this Collins Nature Guide. It's like a really little one, but it's got some really high quality, stunning pictures and some information about them. And I've got quite a few of these little Collins Nature Guides. Got one about clouds that I'm absolutely obsessed with. How cute are they? I believe these are all birds that I am more likely to see, like the Britain, but there's a couple from Germany that I know I've seen as well when I went there. And they're so cute. I love a little bit of a geek in me. I love how they tell you what the eggs look like as well. But just in case this book was not enough, or perhaps the pocket size was just a bit too small for me, he got me the Big Daddy of Bird Photographer of the Year. There's many different editions, and he got me this one because he thinks it's more up my alley. I mean, can you blame him? It's bright yellow. But there's some incredible pictures. Oh, look. I remember we were opening presents on Christmas morning with my mum, and I was like, I should probably just put this book away because otherwise no one's going to get round to opening any other presents, because I'm just going to be, oh my goodness, him. I can relate to this little guy right here. Would like to cocoon for the foreseeable, thank you very much. And then, because I'm getting back into my tarot card reading, just because I love the artwork and I think it's really interesting, like symbolism and stuff is something that I enjoy in my own painting. So I find with tarot cards being such like a long-standing use of symbolism and whatnot, I wanted to have a go at kind of seeing this and doing a bit more research on these. And I managed to find this. I love how it's got the upright and reverse, because I like doing both of those in my readings, and to have both of the interpretations in quite a digestible way, it makes me very happy. I think I had this on my Amazon wish list at one point, and I ended up just adding it because I knew, I trust these DK books, and instead of it being $17.99, I got it for $6.99. I like how it's got like a more kind of the main words here, but then also a deeper interpretation here. I either do like a 1 card spread or a 3 card spread, but I'd like to learn a few more at some point. So yes, I'm very happy with that. And I think that's everything. It was indeed everything, and that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video or like me, please do subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here and join me on all of my arty endeavours. I will be doing a swatching video next of all of these items that are swatchable. I'm not going to swatch a book, that would be crazy. I've also started a still life piece, which I'll probably include in this channel as well. I've done it from reference as well, so I'm really excited to show you that. I took a picture of some bits and bobs that I loved from the charity shops, and I'm going to make a still life piece out of it, so I'll keep you updated with that. But that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video and spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you have a truly magical rest of your day. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.